Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? This is Amanda. Today is the 6th of October. It's Tuesday, the 6th of October. And the first thing I'd like to do is say a warm welcome to all of the new subscribers. There's about 400, 500 of you joined over the last week. So a very warm welcome. Some of you have come via Steve Judd. Some of you, I suspect, who gave me a shout out. Thank you, Steve. Steve's a great astrologer. If you don't know him, check him out. And some of you have probably also coming because I'm doing these update videos on Donald Trump. You are all very welcome, as are my regular subscribers. I will just say at this point, though, that I am doing these videos on Donald Trump at the moment because I'm being told to do them by Spirit. I work with the energy of Archangel Metatron in particular, although Ashtar is also coming in quite strongly at the moment. So there's a galactic and an angelic frequency that's working through me. And my style maybe differs a little bit from some other people you might watch, which is that what I'm trying to do on this channel is to, and I do this with any story that's in the news, this just happens to be Donald Trump at the moment, I try and look from the highest perspective at what is the teaching to come out of this. Whatever we're looking at, what is the teaching to come out of this? So it's got very little to do with who is right and who is wrong. It's more to do with, let's take the teaching from this. What can we learn from these situations in our world? So that's why I'm doing them. To my regular subscribers as well, yes, I will be getting back to my more normal type of format soon, and we will be doing the other types of videos that I do on this channel, whether that is channeling, what I call Heart Squad, looking at Mother Earth, looking at love, want to do a twin flame reading soon, energy updates, etc. This is not just a political channel by any stretch of the imagination. It's just that I talk about politics and I bring it into spirituality because I truly feel it's one of the biggest tests out there. So often how we are able to process what's going on in the political world and our reaction to it, as well as our reaction to other people that might hold different perspectives from ourselves, is a huge reflection of how we're actually doing at a dimensional frequency. It's just too easy to be able to stay in 5D when we're around subjects that are unchallenging, people that are unchallenging, when we're within our own little bubble. But what Archangel Metatron does is he takes it out. He takes the principles of spirituality out, things such as being able to practice forgiveness, compassion, understanding, perspective, etc., and puts it into the most difficult subjects. So here we're talking about a man who divides opinion and a storyline that is problematical, is the word that I'm hearing. Because it's changing day by day. There is a lot of smoke and mirrors going on, and it's hard to know what you're being told is the truth or is it not the truth. So actually, from a spiritual perspective, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to hone your own discernment, and that is irrespective of what I may say or what any other person may say out there on social media land. This is about what feels true to you. Yes, I will give a perspective here, but really it's about pulling out the teaching. So I've got a number of things that I want to talk about today in this video, but I'm going to bring it right bang up to date, as it were. This does follow on from 3 other videos I've done on this subject, which I'm assuming that you're in the flow of what I've already said. I will just refer back to the last video on Sunday, which effectively I was continuing the theme of illness being a teacher and Donald Trump being presented as a figure in our world to try and teach us something about how we face illness and how we do illness, and whether we are able to stop and allow our body to heal, or whether we go into the old paradigm that has existed on this planet for eons, which is, I just keep going. You know, what a trooper, I just keep going. I don't need to rest. Seems to be something about politicians that are very aligned into that energy as well. I know, because I'm from the UK, Margaret Thatcher, another very divisive figure who would be fascinating to channel actually. But anyway, Margaret Thatcher prided herself on only sleeping for 4 hours a night. She wore it as a badge of honour. It isn't a badge of honour. You know, at the end of the day, your body needs sleep, your body needs rest. And whether you are the leader of the United States, the UK, or you're somebody, you know, just an everyday Joe, we all need to be looking after our body. So I talked about illness coming in as a teacher for him, but equally, however he played it, whether he chose to listen to the messages that are coming in from spirit, which is telling him to slow down, to rest, to give his body a chance to heal, and to demonstrate that to our world, that it's okay to be unwell. Even if you're the President of the United States, it's okay to be ill. You know, we all get ill, whether it's with COVID or whether it's with something else. It's not weakness to be ill. It's not a sign of weakness when you get ill. Illness can be something that teaches us something about ourselves, and illness is something that travels through life with us. If we don't face illness in our life, we will know somebody else that does. And so here he is on the world stage, being given a platform by Spirit to demonstrate something about how you deal with illness. And I also asked us to send some prayers for him to help his recovery. And I said that here was an opportunity for a country to come together behind a president that was unwell. And if you can find that within yourself, even if you regard that person as your enemy or your political foe, it can only be a good thing, because you're sending positivity to somebody. I will just say at this point, two things. Roll forward less than 24, 48 hours, I think it's 48 hours. What is apparent is that he hasn't slowed down. He does not want to rest. He wants to carry on as normal. I suspect has discharged himself against doctor's orders, is what I'm getting. Although there's a question mark about the doctors, which I don't know whether I'm comfortable even talking about now, but might do that in another video. But let's just say he has gone against, I believe, doctor's orders and discharged himself, is now back in the White House. And I'm hearing this is the last rah-rah. Now, what I mean by that is he's trying to present a scenario that everything is normal. I've conquered it. I'm over it. It's nothing to worry about, which is actually contrary to the fact that he's taken experimental drugs, received extraordinary levels of care, medical care, which is at odds with it's nothing to worry about. I mean, if it's nothing to worry about, you don't have to take the level of drugs that he's on, and you don't have to be taken into hospital and watched 24/7. Now, he's still being watched 24/7, is what I'm being told, within the White House, within the effectively what's been turned into a medical wing within the White House. So the rah-rah it's like a show that was put on last night in terms of coming out victorious, and everything is okay. Now, I pulled some cards last night. I'm going to show you what they were. This was the moment that he was coming out of the hospital. And yeah, you know, we've got a time difference here. A lot of you that are watching me are in America. So, you know, it was 10, 11 o'clock in the evening here in the UK. So I wasn't going to come onto YouTube. I was in my PJs, guys. But these are the cards I pulled. The first card that came out, this decision to come out of hospital, the teacher card comes out first, the Hierophant. This is illness as the teacher, is the first card. Here he is as the Knight of Wands, charging out of the hospital. Interesting that it's a knight, not a king. Okay, the Knight of Wands charges out of hospital, and it leads to a Three of Swords scenario. Three of Swords is an ending of some description. There is a reference to the heart on that card as well, which is obvious. I'm not going to keep the cards up because I don't want to, I just doesn't feel like we need to see them continually. But yeah, teacher, energy still there, but I'm running away from it. I'm trying to run away from the illness. I'm trying to pretend it's not there. And then suddenly we get this Three of Swords energy. The other two that came out straight away were these two in reverse. Now these are two aces, the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords. This would be, in a positive way, if they came up that way, this would be raring to go, feeling great, and also the Ace of Swords is linked into clarity and truth. They've come in upside down. This is linked into any new start being thwarted. And then we've got the Five of Swords that also came out. And the Five of Swords is linked into victory, but at what cost? I feel this is saying that I just wish he'd stayed in the hospital. And I wish he'd listened to his higher self. And I wish he'd listened to what Spirit were trying to say to him and allowed in the Hanged Man energy, the shift in consciousness that I've been talking about in my last couple of videos. But he hasn't done that, guys. What he's done is he's charged out of there, and it's a false start. He wins because he's back in the White House. He was seen entering the White House, ripping off his mask in almost sort of a very defiant way, that this is nothing to worry about. I've conquered it. Onward and upward. That's the energy. But yeah, it's victory, but at what cost? The sad thing is, it's at what cost to him, and it's at what cost to maybe other people that are exposed to a man that is still infectious, going back into an environment where there are many other people. Not just the people that are maybe in the building, in the White House itself, but they then go home to their families, their communities, and their friends. We've also got, this was last night, I also had the energy of the devil and justice. Now, the devil here is not the devil with horns. This is his own shadow side. This is his fear. And of course, I understand it. He is masking his fear with bravado, is what I'm hearing, okay? And I talked about this, I think, on a video yesterday on either Facebook or Instagram. I've got two accounts on Facebook and Instagram. They're both called Angelic Celestial Colours, I think. Or am I Amanda Ellis? No, I'm an Angelic Celestial Colours on both. I talked about the fact that we often want to run away from illness. Because the whole thing about this is that, okay, we're using Trump here as an example, and we're reading on Trump, but really we're reading on ourselves. Because how many times are we unwell, and we have illness coming in as a teacher, energy, and we want to run away from it. We want to run away. We want things just to carry on as normal, whilst we're ignoring the growing clogging of our arteries, for example, the increase of obesity in our body, the increase of toxification within our liver if we're drinking too much, the build-up of toxins within our lungs if we're choosing to carry on smoking. I'm not judging any of this. I am not perfect. I'm very capable of being like this person here, the Knight of Wands, that wants to run away from what I know my body maybe needs me to be doing to treat it a little bit better in terms of physical health. It's not judging him. It's not judging you. It's not judging me. The reason we do this, the reason we run away and we don't want to confront ourselves is because we're frightened. This is the shadow. This is the shadow energy. And then we've also got the energy of justice was last night as well. So, you know, justice will be served here. So that was last night's energy. Let's just put those cards to one side. I've just pulled a few other ones this morning. And the card that I was being asked to talk to you about before I show you what today's cards are, because they're changing all the time, is this one. And I've shown you this before. This is the card of diligence. But what I'm wanting you to look at is this is the bird that's flying above. Sorry, the light's weird, but I'll just keep it. Sorry, I haven't got time to faff about today, guys. This is the bird that's flying above the ground. It has a higher perspective on everything. So this is what Metatron helps us with. He helps us to see things from a higher perspective. Now, this morning, what Metatron was talking to me about was thermals in the air. So it's as though the last couple of days, I was talking about a thermal, a current of energy that the collective could get behind, Donald Trump being used as the trigger, effectively, to get behind a particularly warm thermal, okay, of air, which was pretty high up. And that thermal was about, let's come together as a country. Let's get behind our president because he's unwell. Let's send the healing, let's send the light, let's come together. All brilliant. The problem is what's happened now, because of the way he has chosen to play it, because he has free will, and also his ego is leading him at the moment, not his spirit. And I'm sorry, I know that's going to trigger people, but if you've watched my other videos, I pulled that card about ego, didn't I? On Sunday. Do you remember? I talked about ego, and at the time, I don't know if people really were hearing what I was saying, but where is it? Because what has happened is the ego has taken us into a different thermal energy. Here we go. I showed you this card on Sunday. And it says this. It says, ego wants praise, admiration, applause, and recognition. And when they become the driving force of life, you lose your connection to spirit and to yourself. The ego can get scared, okay? The ego can absolutely listen to what the shadow side of itself is saying. And so what's happened is we've been taken into a lower thermal. God, I'm getting hot. I know the sun's on me, but I am so hot, guys. I don't know whether he's experiencing sweating and it's not hot flushes in terms of being my age and being a woman. This is something else. I'm tuning into his energy. He is sweating, okay. He's now in a lower thermal. We're still looking at this from a higher perspective. But I'm trying to explain to you that his actions have an impact on the collective because he's also a representation of the collective. So whereas within 48 hours ago, we were riding this higher vibrational thermal, which was, let's come together, he's going to be okay. All he had to do was just stay in that hospital and go into humbleness, basically. But he's come out of the hospital and he's gone on this like rah-rah parade and ripping off the mask, and it's nothing to worry about. It's a lower frequency. It's based around the ego and wanting people to see that he's still okay and still wanting the award and still wanting the praise and the recognition. But not many people are buying that, okay? This lower thermal energy now is sowing more division and more separation and more anger. And it's really, really disappointing and it's really sad. And I don't know whether, I'm hoping that with our light and with our positivity that we have on this channel, that we can somehow get it back up to that higher thermal we were on. But right now, Tuesday, 10 to 10. Why did I have to look at the clock at 10 to 10? Those of you that follow me all the time, 10-10 energy. 10-10, that's the 10th of October. I don't know what that means. Maybe it means nothing. But I'm being shown 10-10. But 10 is also an energy which is linked into, for me, it's linked into fate. It's linked into the Wheel of Fortune. There's a fated thing here now. There's a collision course coming. Oh, I really don't like giving these messages out, guys, but I'm trying to do so because I'm trying to steer a ship. And I'm steering the ship at the moment when what's going on with this storyline at the moment in our world, it's as though the oxygen masks have come down in the plane. The plane's in massive turbulence. And as a captain, I'm coming on trying to say it's okay. But yet it sort of isn't okay what's going on right now, because we've got lies, we've got smoke and mirrors. We've got a leader who's trying to present that everything is fine when things are not okay. And then we've got the collective reaction to it. So I was trying to help us get the collective reaction to be as positive as possible. But yet, and I still want to do that. I still want to do that, guys. I still want us to try. But I'm just also being a realist here, which is that sometimes it's really, really hard to hold that higher dimensional frequency when you have something, a situation that is happening, which is just triggering and triggering and triggering. And I guess that's the gift. That in the triggers, and when he's maybe behaving in ways which is like, oh, come on, you know, don't say that, don't do that, just lay low. That's all he has to do. All he had to do was lay low and receive the healing. But he's gone almost 360 degrees away from that. And so now we're into a different chart. We're into uncharted territory is what I'm hearing. And as light workers, we're just going to have to hold the front line. Now, interesting, I'm saying hold the front line. Again, if you watch my work regularly, you'll know that I can't even remember what video it was in. I think it might have been the October reading. I talked about the fact that after the debate, the presidential debate, where there had been a lot of fighting and bickering, won't get into whose fault it was, but there had, I then saw the energy of JFK coming in, and he was driving, I told you he was driving a car, effectively. I saw the steering wheel. He was driving this car effectively through the debate, but into the consciousness, into the space, into the void with regard to the American collective, okay? And I wanted to show you the picture of JFK that I could see, okay? So I found one that's similar. This is the one, okay? So this is JFK at the wheel. And I'm really feeling that, again, America needs to be comforted by the fact that you've actually got, it's probably not just JFK, but to be honest, I'm linked into the energy of JFK because I've channeled him before. I haven't channeled any of the other former presidents before. I do have a feeling Reagan might also be around as well, actually. But I feel like I could channel Reagan at some point, but I'm not going to do it right this second. But JFK definitely is there. Okay, so that image, if you're just feeling like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? Whether you are a Republican, whether you are a Democrat, if you're having a wobble, and to be honest, I would be surprised if you're not having a wobble, then link into the energy of this guy. Link into the energy of this guy. There's a beautiful quote by JFK about leadership. And let me just see if I can get it up. And it's so what's needed now. Oh, well, actually, it wasn't the quote I was trying to find, but this is a pretty good one for what I'm talking about. It said, this is what John F. Kennedy said. He says, leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. Shall we repeat that? Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. So what we've got here is a situation with a sitting president who doesn't want to learn from this experience, from this virus, which, yes, absolutely, he does have. It's not fake news. You might not agree with me, but, this is what I'm getting. But that wasn't actually the comment that I wanted. It was something along the lines of great leaders are those who lead by consensus and take other people take as many people with them as possible. I don't know, I can't find it now. I'm just sort of feeling the peace just by looking at John's images, actually. Can you feel that? I can feel that. Going to pull a card for JFK. I'm also going to light the candle. Haven't lit my candle. Okay. I realise now I always light a candle before doing my work. I'm lighting a candle here for the spirit of JFK to come back into the United States. And that isn't about left or right. It's the energy of peace and it's the energy of unity. And we're going to ask John to come in and to help steer the ship as the winds whistle around my home as I say that. Okay, so let's just ask John to come in. Can you feel the energy of peace? Wow, wow, wow. That's the card. I mean, the angel feather, that's like the sign that I'm with you. That's John saying I'm with you. So that for those of you that need the energy of JFK, look for the white feathers. Often white feathers are a symbol of angelic energy, but I feel as though he had that frequency with him anyway. And look at that. That's the message from him. Go back to simplicity. Go back to treating each other with love and respect. Go back to aligning to truth. Go back to your husbands and wives and children and grandparents and friends and tell them that you love them. Okay? This, for want of a better word, I mean, I keep hearing the word circus that is playing out now. I got the song yesterday from Metatron, which is a song linked into the musical Evita, written by, oh God, what are they called? Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice. I think they wrote it. Evita, the song linked into Eva Peron, Oh What a Circus, Oh What a Show. Keep hearing that. This is just like... God, this is... Okay, I'm just hearing pantomime. This is almost like we've got into the realm of pantomime now. And the sad thing is that I'm not sure this has a happy ending. And I just stand back from it, Metatron's saying, okay, he's saying you care too much, right? What he means by that is where I've been coming from on this is I could see Donald Trump as the patient, okay? I'm a healer. Many of you that watch me are healers. When you see somebody that's ill and sick and vulnerable, if you're a healer of any worth, you put politics to one side and you go and you send healing prayers. That's what we did. Having said that, you can't help somebody that won't help themselves. And that's why I'm being told to stand back and let it play out. Okay? What I will try and do is to bring through the teaching for the acts in this show. Including the final scene, whatever the final scene is. Page of Wands, proclaiming some sort of news. Okay, I'm going to tell you what the cards were for today. So again, this is linking into the fact that he's released himself. The card of taking risks. That sort of looks okay. But unfortunately, it comes with the wisdom card upside down. This was an unwise move to take a risk. Now, I don't know whether this is also potentially linked into the way that they've been treating him. not just his own decisions in terms of how he wants to play it. I am hearing, I'll play it my way. And that's like the Trump energy. And he'll play it his way to the end, whatever that means. He's always done life his own way. So, but yeah, taking risks with wisdom in reverse was not a wise move. Whether it's, as I say, linked also into some treatment that he's had, which they keep talking about experimental. I mean, do you experiment on one of the most powerful men in the world? I don't know. You know, I was watching the news last night and somebody referred to him as sort of like the most famous guinea pig in the world. I was like, yeah, but you know, why would you want to do that? So I don't know, that is just taking risks with wisdom upside down. And then the other two cards that came out, I've got the card of solitude, which is what he needs to be doing. And I've said this in all of the videos I've done this week or last week on this situation. He needs to be like the hermit who goes within, reflects, receives the healing, stops, reflects. But yet it comes with healing chaos. He's not allowing this process. And what's coming towards is this tornado energy. I'm just going to let the cards speak for themselves, guys. Maybe you want to interpret that a different way. It could also be that, you know, there is an enforced period of solitude and rest coming. I mean, yeah. The most positive thing I can say today, as I then pick this card up, which is the Ten of Swords. Thanks for that, Spirit. Come on, Metatron. What's the most positive thing that I can say here? The most positive thing I can say is these two cards he's saying. This is the answer. For him to be flexible and to walk a new path. The way he's doing it right now is dangerous to himself and it's dangerous to other people. He needs to be brave enough to be able to face the Hanged Man energy. And the Hanged Man energy is linked into, I'm going to look at this, maybe I got this wrong. Maybe I got this wrong. Maybe I wasn't right. Maybe I do need to rest. Maybe the doctors do actually know better than I do. And in that moment, there's a moment of revelation and I take a new path forward. And it takes real strength also to admit sometimes that we're wrong. To admit that we maybe haven't handled things as we should have done. If he can do that, we are then getting into a really great thermal again. But right now, we're in... Do you understand what I mean by thermal? If you're on an aeroplane, what the pilot tries to do is he tries to get you into the best thermal so you're away from the turbulence. If Donald Trump can show flexibility and listen and yield to what other people are saying around him, because I don't believe he is. I believe he wants to run the show. He's not listening. But if he does, and he has that reversal and that change, then it's looking much brighter. Going forward, we've got the sun again. Okay, how are we doing? 33 minutes. I think I'll probably leave it there. I did, though, having said that, I bought this deck out as well. Let's just pull a card from this deck. This is the Wild Unknown Archetypes by Kim Krans. Let's just see if there's a message in this deck, please. One of you put a comment up on my video last night regarding this. Thank you, Grace. And you just reminded us, and this is something, again, I've been channeling over the last few months, not necessarily in relation to Donald Trump, but again, Donald Trump is showing us something here about ourselves as well. My will versus thy will. My will versus thy will. This is the humbling of the ego. I mean, you know, those of you that did the Lion's Gate meditation with me, we were being asked to have an ego death. Do you remember me talking about an ego death? So if we're being asked to have an ego death, then of course our leaders are going to be reflecting that as well. We've got the seed, the pearl in the middle. Let's just have a quick look at what this is about. The seed. What does it say to you? So I'm just trying to find it. And of course I can't. Okay, maybe I'm not meant to read the... oh, okay, I'm not meant to read the message. Okay, I'm hearing what Metatron's saying instead. Ultimately, what is being seeded here? Is the example that's being shown seeding hope? Is it false hope? Is what's being seeded here fear? Is what's being seeded here victory? Is what's being seeded here illusion? Is what's being seeded here truth? It's almost like I just want to leave that up in the air. It's like we need to get to the kernel of truth. What is it? Okay. Okay. So I've got Ashtar and Metatron here. What they're effectively saying is that we all have a seed within ourself. It's that beautiful indigenous saying about which one do you feed? How do you feed the seed? Do you feed it with light? Do you feed it with fear? We have to be able to face ourselves. We have to be able to face truth. We have to be able to face illness. There's a seed growing within Donald Trump, and it's for him to either water it with light, which leads to this path. But he has to be flexible. Or there is another seed that's growing that is being fed by ego, and that doesn't end as well. I wanted to call this video today Red Line in the Sand. I know I'm wearing red. I just looked down at my red lighter as well, because I don't know whether we've gone past a point whereby of no return one way or another. I don't know. I think we'll just have to see how the next few days go, guys. I really do. I'd like to end, obviously, by saying some prayers for Donald, Melania, Hope. In fact, I think there's about 13 and counting people within the White House that have got this now. The White House itself having the white is linked into the energy of purity and truth and cleanliness, has got infection within it now. And so I would ask for healing to go into the house itself, and to any recipient within the house who wishes to receive the healing, for them to embrace it wholeheartedly. I'd also like just to end this video by changing topic completely and sending another healing prayer out to somebody who is one of my complete heroes, who I believe is dying. And he'll be one of your heroes, I suspect, as well. And let's just put his beautiful face up. Thich Nhat Hahn has done so much work for peace over the years. has been a beacon of light, and who has taught us so much about how to listen, how to act as human beings towards each other, and who has always, guys, always taken the highest path, and who has lived and who has walked the talk. And no, he's not dead yet, but what's happened is he's dying, and the people that care for him in his community, in his village, have let out a statement effectively saying that he's now not eating and drinking. So he knows his time is now up. And he will be sorely missed. But for the time that we still have him on our planet, give thanks to the fact that men like that exist in our world. Give thanks to the universe that people like Donald Trump exist in our world. Give thanks in our world that we all exist. We're all reflections of the oneness of God. But I would like to send some prayers out to Thich Nhat Hahn as well, and for his peace, for his passing. If this is his time, dear God, for it to be peaceful. Amen. Okay, guys, let's finish with a shot of colour. These are difficult videos to make, and they might be difficult videos to listen to, but you know, we do the work on this channel. We don't shy away from any subject that needs to be looked at. I'm very aware that there are lots of other subjects that need to be looked at the moment, particularly Julian Assange. I really want to look at Julian Assange, but you know, there is only one of me, and I have to conserve my own energy as well. I have a very busy life. I homeschool one of my girls, and I run a busy business. So yeah, you know, I do what I can, but as a team Metatron, as Marina calls us, she calls us Team Metatron. I know that we're making a huge difference in this world, and even though we struggle at times to listen to each other, maybe I know sometimes I trigger you, sometimes I don't. Sometimes we might fall out, sometimes we don't. I mean, I never fall out with you, but I know some people fall out with me. Funnily enough, they usually come back. But the point is, I'm trying to say we're a team and we're trying our best. We're trying to be the best versions of ourselves we can be. And what Metatron is doing here is he's just trying to show us, he's trying to teach us something via what's going on in our world with Donald Trump at the moment. But the point is, Donald Trump is his own being, and he will react to the situation that he has in his own way. So remember, there are always these different thermals. I mean, I guess you could actually say thermal is just another different word for timeline, really, you know. Anyway, guys, I was going to give you a spray. Let's just do some love. Let's just have some Archangel Shamuel to come in and just sort of soften it all down. So open up your heart, okay? Open up your heart to a burst of pink light that wants to come in now. Pink energy, Archangel Shamuel. Love is all there is. Oh, guys, do you know as well, John Lennon would have been 80 this week, because I'm hearing love is all you need, John Lennon at 80. Now, when is his birthday? 9th. He's on the Friday. Okay, he would have turned 80 on the 9th. So I also think the two Johns, I mean, I've channeled them together, John Lennon and JFK, I've channeled them together. I think the two Johns can really help get us through these times as well. That and your higher self. Much love, everybody. Take care of yourself. See you all soon. Bye-bye. Bye. Can't turn it off.